The University of Saskatchewan Huskies begin their pursuit of the 2010 Vanier Cup Championship next weekend with their spring camp and scrimmage at Griffith Stadium. Earlier this week, I sat down with Huskies head coach Towriss to get a preview of spring camp and to talk about a few of the 2010 recruits, including a highly touted prospect out of Edmonton, Jelani Gilbert-Noren.
Well, Jelani is, I think he's one of the best athletes in Western Canada coming out of high school. He's been recruited by several schools. He played quarterback for grade 12, can also play running back, can play receiver, can play safety. He can return kicks, and he's just an all-around athlete. We're going to start him at quarterback through spring camp and fall camp here, and see how that develops. We know that we're losing Nixon after this year, and we've got to bring a couple guys into the fold there. So if that works, that's great for us, and if not, we know that we can move Jelani to receiver, running back, or safety, and he's the kind of athlete that's going to contribute very quickly anyways, and we're going to find his best place and get him on the field.
Receiving core took a bit of a hit with the loss of Scott McHenry and Corey Jones, but Mitch Stevens looks like a pretty solid addition coming over from the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Yeah, Mitch is a quality player, and you know, he's had a couple years with the Hilltops to develop his strength a little bit, and he's put on a little bit of weight. And Mitch has looked good this spring, and we're hoping that he can step in and certainly help us. He's quick, he runs good routes, and you know, he's going to be a lot further along than most high school guys coming out this year. So we're excited to see what he can do. Again, he's recruited by lots of schools, and we're fortunate he's decided to stay here.
And the offensive line looks like it will be an area of strength this year again, even with the loss of Hubert Biden's.
Yeah, that's an area that you know, we didn't have too much turnover. Hubert was the only one from last year's team that we were losing. I guess Jared Corral was here too in the backup role that has seen some time in over the last few years. But Dale Ferber is coming from Simon Fraser, you know, former conference All-Star, played in the CIS All-Star game, and although he's only got 1 year left, we felt it was necessary to have him come in and shore up that side of the line. After this season, we're going to lose a couple kids, probably Neufeld and Hines and Ferber would be gone. So we've got to get some other kids some playing time this year. We had a real good recruiting year. We got a couple other high school kids we're going to introduce at the breakfast that we feel have a chance to develop, and that's an area that we're going to have to target in the future.
The loss of guys like Biden's and Wallace kind of leaves a bit of a leadership void there. Who's the next group to step up, and what do you expect from them?
Well, I think on the offensive side of the ball, it won't be an issue with Patty Neufeld, and Heenan's coming into his own now in that regard. He's been here for 2 years. He's been a 2-year starter. We will have him for 2 more years before he probably ends up in the CFL. But I think we'll make that transition there very quickly. And another guy that's now been around for a couple of years and established himself on defense is Bryce McCall. Bryce has done a great job for us in the spring, and we're expecting him to take on a bit more of a leadership role, moving it from linebacker back to safety. But I mean, he's really is the quarterback back there anyways on the defensive side, and Bryce will do a good job in that regard.
Okay. The spring camp is coming up right away here. Which areas will you be looking closest at camp?
Well, I think, again, we're going to have some pretty good competition in the secondary. We've got some kids at slot back that are going to have an opportunity to see who's going to start. Now, they've played before. Jeff Moore has seen more and more playing time as the year went on last year. He did a good job for us. Garrett Boland got to play some as a freshman. Certainly, he's going to get a look as well, and so there will be some competition at receiver. Roy Colhert got hurt at the evaluation camp. Probably won't be doing a whole bunch in the spring. His cast is off, but he probably won't be running full speed. We know what he can do, so we're going to look at some other wideouts on that side of the ball. But we don't have a ton of changes. You know, we will have 2 new linebackers on the field, but we had a great recruiting class in linebackers last year, and we think we've got a couple of recruits that are going to be very close to stepping in and playing as well.
Right. Okay. And so, how many recruits do you anticipate having at camp?
We're going to introduce probably more than we have in the past. We've invited about 115 people to camp. I'm sure we're going to settle on a number somewhere right around there. We are committed to 18 or so kids right now, and there will be another 7 or 8 or 10 that do make our football team that will come from the rest of that group. But there's lots of kids that we like. We just haven't seen enough of them at this point to know whether they're ready to take that step to college football or not. I think we've had another really good recruiting year, and we're going to find out in 10 or 12 days now exactly where we're at.
Right. And just the dates for spring camp.
April 29th, 30th, May 1st, and 2nd.
Okay.
We're practicing in the evening on the 29th. Kick it off with the breakfast in the morning on Thursday the 29th. We'll practice at 6 o'clock that night, 5 o'clock on Friday the 30th. And we'll go twice on Sunday or Saturday at 10 in the morning and 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Right.
And then we'll finish it off with a scrimmage around 10:30 on Sunday morning. Try to get the kids out of here by 1:30 or 2.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Good.
All right.